Live. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, who we got here? We got Cameron. We got Mo. Who else I got? Leandre, Gavin. What's up, guys? We have what's his name? Blake Bastani. He is coming from the dentist and says that he'll be here late. But now that I have big news, I finished my history of hoops of the NBA. Now, while this may not seem like a very important thing, it's actually extremely important for the right kid. All right. So I think a few people are going to see it and be like, "What the hell is this? This is a lot of stuff." All right, but I think one or two kids in our program are going to be in love. They're gonna change everything about their game. They're going to look at every single video. They're going to be like way into it because some people love basketball and other people don't. Some people are very passionate about it, and some other people aren't. All right, and while there's a chance that you can go out there and hate basketball and still become good, or just like think so about it and still be great, the chances are pretty low. All right. And they're a lot higher if you have a huge passion for the game. So I'm trying to, so I created a page and that I told you guys about that had all the greatest moments on it and the NBA history. So basically, and it would take a while, if you watched every single video on this entire page, you would know 99% of any NBA story that anyone would ever talk about. All right. So like when the old people are talking, you like listen to them and they're talking about like old Jerry West doing this, blah, blah, blah. You would be right there with them and being able to communicate your thoughts about it and be along with them. But also this, um, there are 10 things that I counted up that any great player has. I counted them up because I was like, I always think like that. I always think if you want to be great, you have to copy other people who are great and do what they did. And if you could do what they did every step along the way, then eventually you're going to be great, right? Unless you get like hurt or something like that. But yeah, so if you copy them, or if you're like three feet tall, maybe, right? But if you copy them, you have a chance to be like them. So I figured out 10 different things, and I'm going to go over all 10 with you guys today, right? And it all ends with this page that I created. If you want to get to the page, it is on our website, either website, 50allstars.com or Limitless Hoops, where you can also purchase our book. And it's underneath the challenges section. All right, it's one of the first things on the challenge section because I think that inspiring athletes is the first thing that you need to do. All right. So again, I was inspired by particular moments, and what coaches try to do is they try to create and recreate those moments in like camps or whatever. That's why when you guys go to, let's say, the St. Mary's College camp, that's why it kind of counts as more than my camp. Sure, they may only be playing games, teaching you a couple of things, and my mom loves old people, yes. And but in my camp, we might be teaching you a whole bunch of stuff. But when a kid goes to the St. Mary's camp, he sees a really tall guy, a whole bunch of them, and he sees a guy that maybe he's watched play before, and now he's inspired to go out and work for 18 hours a day. Whereas he comes to my camp, I teach him a whole bunch of stuff. We learn a lot more than they did during that week. But afterwards, he's like, I don't care. So sometimes that can happen with a player who's like famous, like Steph Curry. You just like, happen to bump into him at the supermarket, and he shakes your hand, and that's all it took. And you were like, I want to be like Steph Curry. And then from that point on, you shoot 800 shots a day. All right. So it's a little weird and that you can inspire someone so simply, and it's hard to inspire someone so complicatedly, right? Your cousin's watching. Hey, cousin, what's up, cousin? All right. Anyways, so I'm gonna get started, and you guys can go check out the page whenever you want to, probably after this. All right, and you can get a taste of. Let me list the categories again. The categories are I have the top 10 highlights in the history of the NBA. The top 10 highlights. All right, these are the things that are like the 5-second plays, 10-second plays that have stood out in the history of the NBA, like the craziest dunks, the craziest moves, whatever. I have the top 10. I could have done a zillion more, but I only chose 10. And then I have the top 10 moments, like Kobe Bryant scoring 81 points. I had the moments in the NBA, like the ones that stood out to anyone. They were more than just a few seconds, but they were moments that stood out in the NBA history, like Reggie Miller scoring 8 points in 9 seconds to beat a team at the last second. Then I have the top 10 games. The best games of all time, and the links are to the entire game. So you may not want to watch that one right now, but one day you can. All right. Then I have the top 10 characters like Dennis Rodman, some crazy dudes like Grandmama, Penny Hardaway and Little Penny, people that you may not know from like commercials, things like that. But these people were the most character driven individuals in the NBA. Then I have a list called Insanity, the top 10 insane moments. Some of those are super sad, some of those are super crazy, some of those are super goofy. All right. Then I have the top 10 non-NBA moments as well, like some college plays, the Harlem Globetrotters is on there, the Dream Team, things like that. And then on the way bottom, just to appease a lot of people, I listed all the honorable mentions. There was 50 more moments. I just listed on the bottom with their links. Actually, you can click those links as well. But just know that everything is there for you, and if you happen to get excited about it, then you're one of the special people. And if not, you're one of the 99% who aren't special. It's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. What about Meta World Peace? Meta World Peace is most definitely mentioned in the insane category. Is that it? Yeah, he's on there. I got him in there. Don't worry about that. He's actually the first one in the insane category, the number one insane one. Anyways, I'm very happy about this, and hopefully, if you're that one person, I hope that I hit you up well enough and that I represented. All right. Now for the 10 things that make a great player. All right. And I'm going to mix in some of today's lessons as well. All right. Because that's what we do here. All right. So if you have any questions about today's drills listed in Limitless Hoops, let me know. I will go over the elementary, the middle school, then the high school. But today I'm just going to pull out one of each. So if you have questions on the other ones, look it up and ask me like how you do a certain drill or something like that. The first thing is this. The 10 things the best have and do. All right. I thought about this because of the movie. It's this movie called Rocket Man. It's with Elton John. He's a singer, great singer. He sang in The Lion King, The Circle of Life. I won't sing it for you guys right now. But when he was like 3 years old, he heard a song on the radio, and then he went to the piano and like hit all the right notes to match the song. And his parents were like, or his mom was like, "Oh my God, like maybe we should give him some lessons," like because he was hitting the exact notes. So then they gave him one lesson, and they gave him like some sheet music. That was it, just some sheet music. This dude took it in his room and he poured over the sheet music for the next like 2 weeks. Just over, would bring it to breakfast, would look at it, would draw on it. He loved music so much. You could hand sheet music to any kid on the planet and probably not get that response. All right. So that sheet music, it was pretty complicated, but he wanted to figure it out so badly, he obsessed about it. This is like sheet music. And I know I'm giving you guys way too much. And I know you're going to look at it and say, not me. But I know that someone's going to be like the Elton John out there and do this. All right. So here we go. And you guys count these. I want to know your score. All right. I'm going to list 10 things. And at the end, you can tell me, or, each step of the way, you can tell me if that's you or if that's not you. And we can see how many out of 10 that you get. All right. The first one is the best players always love to watch basketball games. So if you love to watch basketball games, chime in the comment section right now. If you love watching basketball games, I'm talking about NBA games, college games, in-person games, whatever. But if you're the person who has not watched one game of the bubble in the NBA, then you're not the person that loves to watch basketball games. I mean, love. If you're the person that's like, yeah, I've been to a couple of games, they were fun, then you're not a person. Then you're not a person that loves to watch basketball games. I'm saying if you love watching them, like you DVR them, you're like that kind of person. All right, we got Cameron. All right, you love it. All right, it's good. All right, so that's the one thing. That's one of the 10 things that people who are great have or do. All right, what's up, Rella? So if you love to watch basketball games, let me know in the comment section. All right, 2, they practice a ton on their own. All right, and by a ton, I mean like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. All right, and it's just what they do. They don't even blink about it. All right. Like, so if you practice on your own all day long, I think that Blake Bastani is like that. Add it in the comment section if you're that person who just practices all day long. And like you never skip a day without dribbling a basketball and shooting at least 100 shots every single day. So if you're not that person, you need to do that. Again, I'm telling you guys these hints so that you can have a chance. So that 10 years from now, and if you're not good enough to make college, you will know exactly why you weren't good enough. So you made the choice. All right. And I would hate for you to get to that point, and then I'll be like, well, you should have shot 500 shots a day. And then you were like, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me? And I'll be like, my bad. I'm a bad coach. All right. So I'm telling you guys right now. I'll be like, Cameron, 2 for 2, Cameron. Okay, let's see if you can go the entire way without lying. All right. 3. Oh, I'm sorry. For 2. That brings me to the quote of the day. All right. For the quote of the day, we have, where am I? Right here. Have patience with your efforts. All right. It's not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Thursday. So that's a 5-word quote. All right. Have patience with your efforts. I know that you're going to give a lot of effort, but you have to have patience with it. You can't assume that everything's going to be perfect after one day or 1 week or even 1 year. You have to have patience with it, with your effort, more so than ever, because you have to have patience with it. I'm sure that you'll want like your teachers and your coaches and your parents to have patience with you. Like, I'm trying, come on, right? Say the same thing to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I have patience with you. I know you're trying your hardest. Let's keep going. All right. Don't give up your efforts that fast. All right. And then for the elementary school drill of the day, one drill that I'm going to bring up is patience because it matches. All right. And that's have patience on the offensive end of the court, have patience on the defensive end as well. But on offense, we have our 0, 50, 100 rule. All right. The first time that you touch the ball, never dribble it, never shoot it, never pass for an assist. Never. The second time that you touch it, after swinging it around, second time that you touch it, 50% of the time, shoot it, or drive, or pass for an assist. 50% of the time. That's decent timing. The third time that you catch it, 100% jack up a shot, or drive no matter what, right into them, or pass for an assist through everyone's legs. I don't care. The third time. Now, this is just a rule of thumb. It doesn't have to be that way, but you're allowed to break this rule 5 times. All right. So if you want to come up the court without passing 1 time and shoot it, you get 5 of those. If you go 3 for 5, you get 5 more. All right. So take those rules into account. Be patient on offense, and you'll be able to do a lot of things. Don't forget to be patient with yourself. And the number 2 thing that the greats do or have is they practice a ton on their own. So be patient with yourself. Number 3 is you play basketball all the time. And I mean like play games, like play outdoor basketball, play indoor basketball, play any kind of basketball, like play one-on-one with your dad, play like you're always playing the game, like at least like for like an hour, 2, 3 hours a day. And what Ian brought up to me, he said, I can't do that because in my neighborhood, no one plays. I'm like, yep, you lose. Or you can figure it out. All right. And it's your job to try to figure things out. All right. You have friends, you have a voice. There are basketball courts, so talk them into it. All right. So figure things out and be able to do that. That's you, Cameron. When's the last time that you've played an organized game or any kind of game? You haven't since quarantine because you're not allowed to be around people, right? So don't lie about this. If you're not playing games, it's not you. But again, if it was pre-quarantine, okay. Oh, against your dad, that kind of counts. Okay, I'll give you that. All right, so play games, play one-on-one, play 2-on-2, play whatever you can play all the time. Next one is 4, and you guys can all say yes for this one because you better. Quality instruction. All right, that means you have a good coach, a coach that's telling you the right things. Because honestly, as hard as you can try, if you have no coach, no one to tell you which direction to go into, it's going to be really hard to succeed. So you don't need to answer that one. Y'all all got a good coach, okay? It's right here, all right? Anyways, number 5, and this one comes to the page that I just made for you guys. The great players, they know the complete history of the NBA. All right, they know the complete history of the NBA. We know, again, I know that I talk about her a lot, but Finley's a great player. She is. You ask Finley who I don't know, the number one pick in the 1984 draft is, she's going to be able to tell you. It's crazy. All right. And I know anyone my age knows it, but let's see if you guys know it. Who knows the number one pick in the NBA draft in 1984? Say it in the comment section without looking it up on Google. All right. And that's a problem if you don't know that. Why? Because you won't be able to do our middle school drill of the day. The middle school drill of the day is reverse layups. Now, for reverse layups, the reason that I'm so good at them is because I knew the history of the NBA and I was inspired by the history of the NBA. And I saw Michael Jordan jump up, do his reverse layup like that. And I saw, boom, I saw Julius Irving go like this and score like that. All right. Cameron Ferris, it was Akeem Olajuwon. You know who number two was? Number three was Michael Jordan. Number two was a guy by the name of Sam Bowie. And the New Jersey Nets selected Sam Bowie with the number two pick. Akeem Olajuwon made sense because they wanted a tall person. Akeem's great. But Sam Bowie, he wound up getting hurt, but he was never going to be as great as Michael Jordan. And they picked him number two, and New Jersey Nets have sucked ever since. All right. Anyways, so yes, know the history of the NBA so you can do things like the reverse layup, all right, and other things like that. So you can be inspired by those things just so you can know where they came from. And basically every generation has gotten better than the generation before it. And there's a huge reason why, because it's like trial and error. The guys in the 50s, they figured out stuff. And it took them like 20 years to figure it out. But once they figured it out, the guys in the 60s were like, oh, you already figured that out. Thanks for helping me. Now they get to spend the next 20 years figuring new stuff out beyond that, so on and so forth for every generation. So the guys right now, like when you're like 5, you learn the proper way to shoot because the guys in the past, they were experimenting with every other kind of shot. All right. So we learn from the past. So that means that new players are better because of the past. But if you don't know the past, you can't their answer sheet, basically. You can't get instantly ahead. So make sure that you're educated on the history of the NBA. And again, that's why I made this page for you guys. All right. So that was number one. And again, you guys should be counting up how many that you have. All right. Number one, you love to watch basketball games. Number two, you practice a ton on your own. 3 is you play basketball all the time. 4 is you have quality instruction. 5 is you know the complete history of the NBA. Now, for number 6, the best players, what is the common thread through all of them is that everyone around them knows their goals. And what I mean by that is they're not keeping them a secret. They're telling everyone, I'm going to go to the NBA. Everyone who wants to listen, I'm going to do this. I want to make D1. I want to do that. And they're saying it, and they're asking coaches, how can I make D1? I want to be in the NBA. They're saying it over and over and over again. Like, don't treat me like any other player. Treat me like this because I have these goals. And that brings me to my story of the day. And that is the motivational story of the day is Martin Luther King didn't just have a dream. All right. He said he had a dream aloud and explained that dream to the largest crowd he could find. So don't just dream your life away. Fearlessly say your goals aloud to receive support from others, to be pointed in the correct direction, and to most effectively be held accountable. All right. So say your dreams out loud. Don't be shy about them. Don't be like, because I know why most people don't. It's because if you say that you want to make a D1 team and then someone sees you not working out for a straight month, they're going to call you out. So you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say it. All right. That's called being held accountable. Because if you truly wanted to stop, like, let's say, drinking or smoking, and you never told anyone, no one would ever help you. And you could go out and drink and smoke, and no one would ever say anything. But if you told the world, I want to stop drinking and smoking, you would be like so embarrassed to like fail. But you'd be so embarrassed to fail that you might actually succeed. Because you'd be like, oh man, now I can't do it. So when the people are too afraid to say their dreams, and they're too shy to say it out loud or to write on a piece of paper or to tell their parents, tell their coach, tell their friends, That's because they want a way out, just in case they change their mind. And if you want that way out, you have no chance, all right? Because you're constantly going, I'm not going to tell anyone. So say it out loud, and then when people call you out for it, respond and say, you're right. I didn't work out this morning. You're right. I didn't do it again. You're right. I need to do this. All right. So again, um, Martin Luther King didn't just have a dream. He said he had a dream out loud so he could receive support from others, so he could be pointed in the right direction, and so he could be most effectively held accountable. So people can point you in the right direction if you tell them your dreams. All right. People can support you, and people can hold you accountable, guys. So make sure that you say it out loud. And again, if you do that, let me know right there in the comment section. Tell me your dreams. Say, I want to go to the pro. I want to play varsity in high school. I want to go D1. If you don't say it now, hey, I guess you just don't want it. All right. Anyways, number 7, the greatest players, they watch film on themselves to improve. All right. Cameron says NBA. That's one person. All right. The greatest players, they watch film on themselves to improve. And I'm talking about like as much film as I watch on myself. I would watch the game film so much in college. My coach told me, stop watching game film. You're not allowed to anymore. Because it'd be like three hours a day. And I just wanted to know everything. I wanted to be as perfect as possible. And I know Kobe watched a ton of game film. I know Mike Tyson watched about 4 hours of it per day. All right. So you have to make sure that you watch yourself, to watch yourself playing, to watch yourself working out so that you can improve your technique. Again, this is what the best do. And that brings me to my high school drill of the day. The high school drill is dribble defense on the dribble handoffs. All right. So when you dribble to the side and they hand the ball off and they come off that handoff pick and roll, again, the person guarding the ball handler needs to back and then needs to flat show. All right. These are things that you would see in the games that we're not doing. So if you were the one that didn't do it, or if anyone on a team didn't do it, you should be breaking down that game footage and putting it forth. I put a lot of game footage online. If you guys want to break that down for me and say the 12 positives and 12 negatives on our 12 facets, sorry, the 2 positives each. So wait, change that again. 1 positive and 1 negative on our 12 facets of the game: offense, rebound, defense, rebound, communicate, cut hard, things like that. And you can break down one of our games or all of our games and tell me exactly like when and what minutes they are in. That would be a great homework thing. And I'll definitely give you guys some homework credit if you do that. But you should have already been doing that. Again, break down game film. Next thing is number 8. They obsess over their technique. Right? And this, again, will be the person who's in bed, putting their arm straight, shooting it over and over and over again. They're trying to dribble as low as they can. They're like, watch me, dad, watch me. Is my crossover low enough? Film me. Can you film this? Is my crossover like quick enough? Is my step back right? Am I traveling on this move? And they're always thinking about like their footwork. They're thinking about how their hand is. So if this is you, it's probably a person who the coach isn't correcting very much because you're correcting yourself. All right. You're not shooting the ball like this with a smile on your face like that. Yeah, I made it. And then the coach goes, get your arms together. And you're like, oh, my bad. Because a player who can diagnose themselves, they already noticed that. And they shot the ball and they were like, that's not good. Let me fix that. So if you are a self-diagnoser, let me know in the comment section. Again, I hope that you guys are counting this up so we can get your final count in the end. Again, you want to do all these things and be able to do all these things so that you can be as great as you want to be, because these are things that the great people will do. The ninth thing is they see challenges and adversity as fun things. When they're challenged, they like that. When there's adversity, they like that. So when a new player comes on the team and challenges their position, they're excited about it. Like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a football player for the Green Bay Packers. When he first came in the league, he was a bench guy behind Brett Favre. And one day, to my chagrin, I love Brett Favre. They traded Brett Favre away because Aaron Rodgers beat him out. And I was like, what in the world? Why would you trade away a Hall of Famer? And then Aaron Rodgers came. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But now his team just drafted a new quarterback. And he is older now. He's in his last few years. But now he's faced with the same exact thing. And they asked him like, what he thought about that. Was he like offended? And he goes, no, it's a business, and I'm excited for the competition. You know how many people would get offended by that? You're one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Yeah, we're going to draft a quarterback. Oh, he loves adversity. Right? He loves the challenge. And I can tell you so many parents that come up to me saying, why did you tell my kid this? Or why is my kid this? Or why did this bad thing happen to my kid? Are so many kids like crying, going, I give up? Or so many parents telling me the reason that my kid doesn't try is because of you. He gave up because of you. No, he gave up because of himself or herself. All right. So what the great people, they love challenges. They love adversity. So if you love a challenge and you love adversity, let me know in the comment section. So when we play 3 years up, if you're like happy about it, well, that's you. All right. And the last one is 10. These great players, they never give up. All right. And by never give up, you'll find out if you're one of the type to give up. All right. Because the people that give up, they give up in different ways. They'll go out for the team their ninth grade year and they won't make it. They'll get cut. Then they stop playing basketball. Or they won't even try for the team. Or come sophomore year, they realize it's kind of hard. And I have friends and I can drive now. I'm stopped. Or they'll play high school basketball, but they'll stop doing our program because who wants to wake up at 6 a.m? And who wants to work extra? I'm already working enough. This was my dream, was to make the high school team. Or they say, I don't need your program anymore. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to work on my own. Okay. Doing what? Shooting around the backyard? Yeah, I got this. And I'm like, what? Okay. Then all of a sudden I see them and they're worse. All right. Giving up is sadly, okay, I'm not telling you to do this, but giving up is going to a school where you can't play basketball. All right. And it's like, I'm going to Arizona because it's a fun school because of my major or whatever. But you could have gone to like a D2 or a D3. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing. If you can get into a school that you want to, go for that, whatever. All right, basketball's not everything. But for a basketball player, for a great one, it is. They will go D2 or D3 or whatever they have to do just to play ball. Again, that's what the greats would do. So if you're starting to doubt that one, understand, you may not be them. All right? So again, to reiterate, all 10, count them up for me and let me know which ones that you have. The greatest players, they have or do these things. They love to watch basketball games. They practice a ton on their own. They play basketball all the time. They have quality instruction. They know the complete history of the NBA, and everyone knows their goals. They watch film on themselves to improve. They obsess over their technique. They love challenges and adversity, and they never give up. So those are the 10. Cameron says he has 7. Is Cameron the only one out there right now? Come on, guys. Chime in. Again, speak out loud. Say that you have a dream. Anyways, the whole thing that I mentioned this for is for number 5, to know the complete history of the NBA. I took I think I spent about 5 days on it, a lot of hours. So check out the page. At the very least, check out the page. And if you look at it and you see a whole bunch of links, because there are pictures, everything on there, right? It's in the challenges section, right? Under the history of hoops. On our website, Limitless Hoops and 50allstars.com. All right. If you open it up and see all the links and you get scared, and like some of my friends did when I told them, hey, can you look at this? They were like, oh, that's a lot. Is this for kids? Oh, kids won't read this. That's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot for some kids. But if you look at it and say, that's a lot, and I don't want to click on one link, and I don't feel like looking through all this, well, you're just regular. But if you're the one of the 1%, tell me about it and tell me which ones you love, which ones that you knew about, or tell me which ones that you did not know about. If those are few. So for Cameron, he knows a lot about the NBA. Cameron, look through the list and tell me which ones you did not know about. All right, which ones you didn't know about. You don't have to watch them, but just look at the ones and say which ones you did not know about. All right, you guys. Again, hope that you guys enjoyed that page. Hopefully that you enjoyed today. And I also hope that I see you guys in 30 minutes for our isolation workout. Let's work hard. Let's go for it. All right. I will see you guys soon. All right. Peace. You watched the flu game. Oh, nice. All right. Hey, watch something that you haven't known or that you haven't watched yet. All right. I'll see you guys.